Welcome back. Tony Award-winning artist John Cameron Mitchell is back on the New York stage, courtesy of Pac NYC. He's getting ready to bring a one-of-a-kind concert event front and center, celebrating the glitz, the glam, and the grit of the late, great David Bowie. John is with me now. You are one of my favorites, so it's such a pleasure to get to sit down with you in the studio. Always good to see you. David Bowie. This is an idol of yours that you've been, celebrating for some time now.
I was always kind of scared of him, I think because I was scared of my feminine side, and as a kid in Scotland, partially. I remember seeing him on Top of the Pops and this alien doing Genie, and I'm like, this guy's scary. It's not like the other glam rockers who are clearly just straight men with beards and makeup. David Bowie is serious. And then I saw a very famous appearance he did with Klaus Nomi and Joey Arias on Saturday Night Live in '79, where he was kind of in this Thierry Mugler vase suit, and it set me on my way, set me towards Hedwig.
Wow. And you've been celebrating his music for some time now, and this is a different show because just a couple years ago you were doing another David Bowie show, correct?
I'm just a cog in that wheel. It's the people who made his last film, record, Black Star.
Right.
I joined them in doing orchestral versions of Black Star and other songs.
Got it.
And that just got me excited about Bowie again. And I'd been touring with other shows, The Origin of Love, Cassette Roulette with Amber Martin, and this one is called Queen Bitch.
And what can we expect from
QB?
Queen Bee.
Queen Bee. Queen Bee is really, everyone's going to think it's my Beyonce tribute.
I was going to say, are you doing a little Beyonce in there?
David Bowie came to Hedwig off Broadway. Thank God I didn't know he was there. Yeah. He didn't stay after. Oh God, he hated it. Lou Reed came all the way up to say he loved it, but David didn't. And then afterwards, my boyfriend, Jack, was working at Complete Music, where we're rehearsing today and where Bowie rehearsed. And he's like, he's here. And I came by and he's like, John, you got it right.
Wow.
And I just left because there's nothing more I needed to hear.
That's like the ultimate review.
The ultimate review. He put money into our LA production, lost every cent. And I want to thank him for that. He even, asked me to look at Ziggy Stardust for stage.
Oh, wow.
And the one great regret is that I was so tired from Hedwig, I demurred.
Wow.
But in this case, Queen Bee is it's a kind of, no, I'm not playing Bowie, but I'm kind of using his most paranoid, apocalyptic, fearful songs about fascism, about his affinity for fascism, which were fueled by his cocaine use, and then afterwards he really regretted. But like that time, that incredible from 70 to 80 period, we're gonna hit every one of those albums, the most fearful songs, and then a few songs that were his antidotes to the fear. Heroes, Conversation Piece. There's certain songs that, because he doesn't ignore, he was the anti-hippie, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Even though he was the progenitor of, let's say, a non-binary way of thinking, reminding us that we're all androgynous in a way that was separate from sexuality. And that's what I was scared of, and now I glory in. So this show is a celebration of him, but also he was right.
Yeah.
William Burroughs and David Bowie's worst fears have come true politically now. So what do we do with that? In some ways, in a time when all news is fake, all stories are true.
Yeah.
And the stories include songs, films, stuff that I'm doing. We can all agree that we can perhaps empathize through story rather than fact, because now fact is suspect, unfortunately.
Are you surprised at the success of Hedwig, and also seeing the world we live in today? It's like, she's finally arrived in a way in terms of...
It's interesting because, looking at it now, also I re-released Short Bus, which people have a different view of now because of the sex. But at the time, we were coming out of punk. We were coming out of the fury of the government letting us die through AIDS.
Yeah.
It was the early 90s. Squeezebox was a club where we developed it, which was a punk rock drag club. And punk meant your intentions were clear, maybe to fight capitalism, fascism, patriarchy, but the tools were, you could say anything, you could use anything, you could be as shocking as you wanted to tell that story.
Yeah.
Nowadays, we're in a very different time where you're not supposed to say certain things that might offend people, and what is your story to tell, and all of that, with this more guardrails, which I find too limiting personally. I think we've gone too far with that, with good intentions.
Mm-hmm.
So Bowie, like many others, would say, you know, in these days where identity politics became, you know, they faded a bit, but as a very important thing, Bowie would say, identity is fluid, you know, it's flexible, and when you become rigid in your identity, I'm this and you're that, then you don't change, you don't flow, you don't find evolution.
Yeah.
He was he talked about homo superior in Oh, You Pretty Things. It's like, let's move on from what we're taught, even by our peers on social media. Let's find our own way.
Yeah.
So this show is the first time we're doing it. It'll be a little wonky. We have some fun set things. We're doing it at Pac NYC.
Which is exciting.
Which is a new space in the World Trade Center area that is hosting a lot of good things this week.
Yeah.
So we love this new space.
John Cameron Mitchell, always a pleasure to see you.
Thank you.
You can catch John at Pac NYC on December 17th and 19th.
Thanks for watching our YouTube channel. For more stories in your communities, click the subscribe button right here. You can also download our app or watch us on TV for the latest news and weather updates every 10 minutes and more. We'll see you then.